Welcome back. Welcome back. Shalom Balance Paradise, or we have another special guest with us today, King Noire.
Yes.
We are going to pick and get deep into the mind of this brother and trustfully dispel some myths and enlighten and expose, a lot more of what this brother has. So welcome to the podcast, mate. Honors for arriving. Many accept, but not everybody attends. So honors for that.
Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome, man. You're most welcome. So, world-renowned adult entertainer. Please just give us, for some who don't know, give us a bit of a synopsis or an overview of who King Noire is.
Right. Well, I am a master fetish trainer, adult performer, entertainer, co-owner of Royal Fetish Films and Jet Setting Jasmine LLC, King Noire Music. We've won, three FetCon awards for Best Pictures of the Year and all that good stuff. You know, we're a Black-owned company. Our mission in all of this is to show, beautiful Black, passionate, hardcore, fetish, kink, everything from wild ass shit to romance, but just to show the full spectrum of Black love and sex. And that's what we're here for. You know, we tour the globe doing kinky pop-up parties and shooting films with all types of sexy people.
Excellent. And it's good to hear. Really good to hear that, you're establishing yourself, or you've established yourself, and you're doing for self. And as we all know, there is a lot of mischaracterizations with quote unquote minorities within this genre of movies. So honest for doing that there, mate. So that's the present. That's the present. We're going to jump into the DeLorean and we're going to take a ride back, sibling. So let's get back a bit further. So before you are who you are today, let's go back to the olden days, man. Back in the day.
Sure.
So where did you actually grow up and stuff? Tell us a bit about your background and stuff.
Yeah, I was born in Manhattan, but I was raised in Jersey. I grew up in Jersey pretty much from north to south. You know, I grew up between Jersey City, Teaneck, and Camden, New Jersey, but also lived in Bayonne, lived in North Bergen, lived in the Bronx for a little while, and now I reside in Florida. But, that Jersey fresh flowed through my veins at all times, My mother's family is African American, and we could trace our family roots back to the plantation we were on, but I'm not really trying to give nobody my DNA to find out anything more besides that, anything before that. But then my father's family is German and Italian American. So, I got some different flavors. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, though.
Okay. And what was that experience like?
Oh man, it was good, man. I grew up in some places that are very different from one another, so I really learned a lot from where I grew up. Teaneck is a very culturally diverse place in the sense of you see people of all ethnicities, races, religions, everything. Everybody lives around one another. But at the same time, it's extremely, when I was growing up, it was extremely segregated. When I was 10 years old, one of my friends in school, his cousin that we all knew got killed by the police, and there was riots and all kinds of shit like that. So it really let us know oh snap, we get bused to this side of town. You feel me?
Yes.
So we really got thrust into racial inequality at a very young age. You know, the high school that we went to was under like state charges for racial inequality and racism within the school. And then that's where I grew up with my moms. And then with my grandmother lived in Camden, New Jersey. And all through the 90s, like Camden was either like 1, 2, or 3 for the murder capital in America. So, you know, we grew up with like police helicopters and a lot of violence and things like that. But it very much, it made us value what we did have and our loved ones, and really learn that, like, yo, you only got one life and that life might be really short. So you better live that shit to the utmost. And then Jersey City is just like the most overlooked city in America, I feel like, because it's like right there in New York City shadow. And then on the other side, we got the bricks, we got Newark. So everybody know New York City and everybody know Newark, but you know, Jersey City is very overlooked. So that gives us all like, we hustlers. Like we all grow up like, I gotta get it, and I'm gonna be recognized for what I do. You know, so like those 3 mentalities very much molded me into who I am.
You gotta basically get out there and grind. You can't sit down and wait for opportunities. You better go out there and get that there.
Exactly, because yo, anybody from Jersey City will tell you, man, people always sleeping on Jersey City.
I've heard. Man, okay. So that's clearly that diverse growing gave you quite a I would say a solid standing.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like when I talk to people I know who are like military babies, you know, they get to see the world, they travel the world, and they get all these different educations from wherever the bases that they wind up on, but they usually feel like they don't have no roots because they moved around so much. Like me, I bounced around, but I always had roots where I was at. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother and my mother lived in the same houses my entire life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I might not be on the block for a little while, but once I get on the block, you know, it's home. You know, and then like same kind of thing. Like just there's places now like I still go back to, and I'm bumping into people that I've known my whole life. So there is those roots and you know, people who do follow what I do, you know what I'm saying? Like they fuck with it, and it's good to be able to go home and people be like, yo, see what you doing out there, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to go home and have people appreciate it is really dope.
Definite, man, definite. So career-wise, what made you was the industry, the adult industry, was that something that you saw as a teenager or a young man and said, you know what, this is something I can get into? Like navigate us and paint us that vivid picture how you actually like got into this thing.
Okay, well, I mean, I've always been extremely sexual. I've always been a freak in that sense. I always had like fetish and kink exploration before I even knew that there was names for it or a lifestyle for it. You know, like I remember having them disposable cameras and like a Polaroid and shit, and using that shit to flick it up, you know, with girls I was messing with at the time, and then like we were sharing with each other and all that. But then actually getting into the industry, man, I was a knucklehead as a youngster, you know, and I was hustling and things like that. And my mother wound up kicking me out the house at like 17. I had dropped out of school at 15. So I was trying to get, got my GED, was trying to get into like community college and things like that. But once I didn't have a place to live, it was kind of like, yo, I gotta make money. And I had a homegirl who she was dancing in Philly, and she was like, yo, these people want me to take some pictures for a magazine, but I don't want to do it with a stranger. So, we have been messing around. She was like, I know what you're working with. I know you need money, so come get it. So from there, like, I took some flicks. I made some good money off of it. And I was like, ooh, I can make some money without, worrying about police, getting robbed, standing outside all fucking day. Like just the hustle aspect of it was a whole lot. It made a lot more sense to me. So I was like, some of my friends, I was doing like selling weed before it was, what it is today and shit. But, some of my friends, they was like, they was graduating into like hustling crack and H and all kinds of stuff like that. And I really wasn't trying to get down like that because, we had some addicts in my family, and I see what it does to families. So I was like, I need to graduate into a bigger hustle. So that's kind of like what got me into the industry. I started off just doing it's like early cam stuff, but I found my niche really doing like live sex shows, doing cuckolding and dominations, just because it was very much, it was already who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, oh, word, you just want me to come there and tell y'all what to do? All right, cool. Like, this is before, like, I really knew that there was this whole community and this whole lifestyle, and there was instruments. And that's how I first learned, about spanking and about choking and about, handcuffs and rope and all this other stuff. Because, like, I had a pair of handcuffs that I had, like, stolen from somewhere as a kid and was just, like, just use them shits to use them. But, like, I didn't know the science behind it and right. All the different terminology and things like that.
Wait a minute. One second. So I understand the thought process, money-wise, etc. You had the opportunity. Now, let's just flesh out the other element to this, because surely you must have had some trepidations about, doing this because other people might see you. I mean, like, how did you get around that? Or was that not an issue?
Well, I mean, at first, it wasn't like when I first got started. Like, I'm 39, and I first got started when I was legally able to do so. So I was 18, So this was before camera phones were everywhere. Or at least, I mean, for me, I was poor, so I didn't have no camera phone. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what other people was doing. I didn't have. My mother didn't have a computer in her house, I feel like, until I was out the house. So I didn't grow up on the internet. I didn't grow up with, like, even when cats was rocking with AOL, I didn't have that. Okay. So for me at the time, it wasn't in my brain, like, this shit. I knew, like, the magazine is out there, but to me it was kind of like, if your ass is out there purchasing a sex magazine, you shouldn't be mad at me for being in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your problem now, not mine. But I think for me, it was really like, I gotta make this money, and I gotta survive. I gotta feed myself. I need to have a roof over my head, and that was way more important to me than worrying about who was going to see it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Self-preservation, ultimately.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think it's very important to say, like, at that time, it was different. I had left the industry for a few years because I started doing some work in my community, and I was working with after school programs. I teach chess and creative writing and stuff, and so you can't be like doing porn on the side. I would have got super fired and gotten people in trouble, right? So like, I had left the industry for a while, and when I finally came back to the industry, I was able to come back on my own terms. Like, when I restarted back in the industry working with Jet Set and Jasmine, who's like my partner in all things life and business, we decided that we wanted to make films that, we were doing parties and stuff, and so many black folk, like, we did a lot of parties for Black women and couples, and people just be like, why is Black porn so bad? You know, why does it look like their budget is trash? Why does it look like there was no assistants that were helping people, you know, put some lotion or some coconut oil on or something like that?
No.
Why do the sets look bad, and why does it look like nobody wants to be there? Or why do you never see a Black man and a Black woman kiss? Why do you never see anything that's passionate and beautiful? Or why do you never see something that's kinky, but why do we always got to be the thug or in jail or twerk queen? Why can't we just be beautiful, Black, and powerful? You know, so that's what made us like restart. That got me back into the industry and made us start what we did with Royal Fetish Films. You know, so like when I first got in the industry, it was really much a place of like, I got to eat, I got to survive, you know, so it did give me a different perspective of the industry as opposed to now where it's like, I'm doing this because this is my art. I think it's beautiful. And, you know, I'm still making sure that I eat, of course, but it's coming from a different place than when I first started.
Perfect. That's, I mean, ultimately that's what more people should be doing. I know there's a lot of people who have got their own production film companies, etc., but they just seem to be, not everybody. I'm not sort of making a blanket statement here, but a lot of people seem to be just going for whatever's kind of popular and just making. There's no real authenticity or no real drive to, as you say, break down these barriers and stop doing these stereotypical things and these risque type, you know, scenarios, and, you know, really get back to what people, because ultimately this is a simulation of, you know, the two beings coming together to make love in essence. So it seemed a lot of or for a long period, I should say, it was too much about the strangest and wildest and wackiest things that can be filmed versus just really showing the beauty of, you know, the male and female persona, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's tough though, because it's like I'm glad that I took the path that I took from day one, because it's made me be able to understand all aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Because there are still people that are getting into this business out of a place like, yo, I gotta eat. This my shot. You know, so I can understand people that's in that situation where they're like, yo, this how I gotta eat. This how I gotta feed my family, whatever the case being. You know, there's a certain kind of like first world luxury problem of being like, well, how can I make this, you know, the most artistic thing possible, right? But, you know, I understand both. And I would like to see more of a happy medium, because for sure, like it's like with any industry, people at the top who already got are going to exploit people who are trying to come in, who are looking to have, you know. So and in the sex industry, like as a whole, whether it's stripping or webcamming or escorting or porn, you know, there are a lot of people who are in situations that it's like, they might be in this industry because this is their last resort. So, you know, it's important for those people to still be protected and respected as well. But then at the same time, just like you're saying, you know, this is something that is, it goes deeper than just the act. It goes deeper than, you know, just throwing up a camera phone video for some people. And, you know, for others, it might be the first time that they actually get to see what sex looks like. So if you have that in your mind, and also, unfortunately, most schools, I can't speak of the UK, but I know in America, most schools in regards to their sex education is trash. So, you know, a lot of young people are learning about sex through porn. So there is a certain, you know, responsibility that performers do have. But also at the same time, it's like, yo, you underage, you shouldn't be looking at the shit in the first place. So it's a very fine line, and there's a whole lot of gray area to it, you know.
Very much so. Before you took the break from the industry, can you speak on your experiences in the industry reference? Because we've had I think pretty much every adult entertainer we've had a conversation with, at some point they always seem to highlight, whether it's changing now and it's getting better, I don't know, but there always seems to be an issue referenced racism. Did you experience anything, in that respect before you made that change to go independent?
Well, shit. I mean, I've experienced racism before I got in. Like, I mean, before I left and when I came back, it is slowly getting better. I mean, I think porn is just a microcosm of the larger society. Like, America is a racist ass country. Like, there's no way around it. Like, America still doesn't want to address this problem, but the shit is there, so I experienced in the sense of, white people who are behind the camera or producing or things like that, you're a black body to them. And whereas everybody is viewed as bodies in adult entertainment, there is a certain ownership that people feel that they have over black bodies. Like, for example, this is actually when I came back to the industry. This is, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 years ago this happened. I was in a model house on a site shoot, and like we shot something like 5 scenes in like 2 or 3 days. And there was one model that was there, and she was just like, after we were done shooting, she was trying to like hang out, kick it, and basically she was like, yo, I want to keep fucking after we were done shooting a scene. And for me, like, after I'm done working, it's time for me to check in on my family. It's time for me to make sure everything is good at home, because I was away, I was on the road. So I was like, I got some shit I need to handle. So she was thinking that she was texting our agent, because we had the same agent at the time, and she was like, King is being an uppity nigger. He won't fuck me off camera. And her dumb ass texted it to me, thinking that she was texting it to our agent. And, like, just that ownership idea, so basically I told the company, like, I'm not working with this lady. Like, y'all need to get her the fuck out of here. And the scene that we shot will never be released, because I made them sign something that says that they would not release it. And hopefully, they don't go back on their word or lawsuits and shit. But, like, that kind of situation that, I'm here somehow to serve you, I'm here to take care of you, is, one of those things that kind of like just permeates itself in all aspects of American society. Like, wow, we're supposed to be, Will Smith in The Legend of Bagger Vance for white people, and at all times the black friend in the sitcom and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't that kind of party with me. So yeah, and it's some bullshit, because we called her out, but companies still hire her ass. Is unfortunate, because you shouldn't really be, if you was on any other job, like if we was lawyers or something, and you texted whoever the head lawyer is that another lawyer won't do what you want them to do off of work hours, and then you called them a nigga, like, you definitely would be fired.
Well, I guess, yeah, you're right. You can't get around it. I think the get out clause is you guys are all independent contractors, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
But the strange thing is, I mean, I don't quite understand why she would text your agent, even if you share the same agent. I mean, would she have had like a more closer personal relationship with this agent? Why she felt comfortable in doing that? Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, I found out that they was getting down on the side anyway. But, and the crazy thing also is that the agent was black too, and he was trying to convince me that she's not like that. She not like that, bro. I'm like, yo, you can let this white bro call you a nigga all you want. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't play those games, yo.
Serious, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, like for me, I think a lot of people, they think, oh, well, you're important, so you just have to accept certain things. Nah, I don't. I'm a man first and foremost. And my mother raised me like, yo, no matter what it is that you do in life, you have a responsibility to your people and your community. So I want to be able to go home and have people be like, yo, that's what's up. What you doing is cool. Like even some cats, they might not rock with all of it, but they at least know I ain't making us all look bad out there. And that's very important to me.
Very much so. Very much so. I mean, well, okay. Well, I guess, yeah, actually, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears a little some. People, as you've mentioned, clearly you wouldn't work with that young lady again based upon, her antics.
Nah, fuck her.
Who have been your favorite people to work with?
Oh, wow. I have a long list for that one, but so you talking about like my favorite people on camera or like my favorite
on camera.
Directors or okay. So like on camera, I mean, obviously through and through, I mean, I love working with Jasmine because that's my partner. So we like our chemistry is always gonna be something beyond. We got a child together, you know what I'm saying? So I love like I don't know. It's amazing that we can share all these things together. I really enjoy working with Sarah J, both in front of and behind the camera, because it's funny. Like Sarah J is like she like a legend and all that, and my brother was like a super big porn fan. Rest in peace. My brother, he was super big, and he was like, yo. You need to holler at Sarah J and Angelina Castro. Sarah J be fucking with hip hop, and
yes,
you need to holler at her. And also, he was Cuban, and so he was like, and Angelina Castro, she Cuban, and hopefully one day I could meet them through you, right? So it just wound up being that through Lance Hart introduced me to Sarah J, and she was looking for male talent at the time, and this might have been like 4 years ago now, and we've worked on camera. And then she's produced, like she manages me. So she's produced and directed like a whole lot of shit that I've done. And it's always like, it's creative, it's sexy, and like the shit be raw. Like, so I really enjoy working with her.
Smart businesswoman, man. Very smart and wise. Sure. Yes.
And I've learned a lot about the business through her. I enjoy working with my sub Zerlina Devine. We also have a very good chemistry, and our chemistry extends off both on and off camera. Mm-hmm. Avery Jane, we've done a couple scenes together. It's been fire. Sarah Lace.
Okay.
Who else I really like working with? We haven't gotten to work in a while, but I really, really enjoyed working with Lethal Lips. Lethal Lips is dope.
Lethal. Momo.
No. Lethal is the truth. Like me and Lethal kick it off camera and just talk shit. Like I fucks with Lethal. Lethal is cool as fuck. Julie K. It was really dope working with Julie K. She's great to work with. There's a lot of people that I enjoy working with. Kitty J. Shit. Like there's so many people now thinking.
Okay, all right then.
I'm a big fucking hoe, so I work with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I get along with I would say like 99% of the people that I work with. So,
So what about some stars? No, we don't necessarily need to be stars, but what about some people who you haven't worked with, but you would like to work with, but you haven't had the opportunity as of yet? Past or present?
Past or present that I would like to work with? That's a good question. See, now I gotta go through like my whole like Rolodex of people that I'll be like following on Instagram and shit like that, because there's a whole lot of Well, actually, you know what? I did miss one person that I definitely really enjoyed working with. That's Misty Stone, and Misty Stone is a fucking legend.
Shit! Yes.
Yeah, and we've worked together, and I'm really we need to work more together. Definitely. I like Anna Fox's work a lot. We have not worked together before. Anna Fox is super dope.
I didn't know she was still working.
Anna Fox? Shit, she doing all the work right now.
She grinding.
She getting it in. I like Monet Divine. She's super dope. I would love for Pinky to come out of retirement and do some work with me. And I was always a huge Pinky fan. Like I just think like she like on another level with it. I have a list somewhere that I'm gonna find right now.
Yeah, man, you pull that thing up, man.
I would like to. All right, so here we go. I got it right now. So Anna Fox, Maya Bijou, Katrina Jade, Lena the Plug, Gia Milana, Riley Reyes, Demi Sutra, Anya Olsen, Tiana Trump. Like there's a whole lot of people I want to work with.
You need to get Sarah on that booking, that management job, man, and get these get this all hooked up, man.
I did a photo shoot recently with Kendra Spade for a product line. This company has floggers and stuff. So I was in there doing some product line stuff for them. And, there was no sex. We was just doing like some flogging and stuff. And she was cool as shit. So I would do some work with her as well.
So I guess you go to all them conventions and all that, right?
Yeah, we usually have a booth set up with Tayomi, Glamazon Tayomi at all the Exoticas. AVNs, we there. We out at all these things, and then also I'm at the Wide Side booth with Sarah and all that. So I get to meet everybody and be like, oh, we need to talk.
I guess, to be fair, I mean, I would imagine those type of events are excellent networking opportunities as well, as you say, for people who you may have seen or you might see actually on the day and think, you know what, they've got the right look, right kind of personality to fit what we're doing on our next shoot or up-and-coming shoots kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, too, since we do a lot of our own stuff, actually meeting people that y'all have some kind of vibe with before you show up at the shoot is ideal. Like, oh, we got this little chemistry or whatever now. There's some tension to work with when you on set.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes and no, because I guess this might be a woman thing rather than the man thing. A lot of the women who we've interviewed prior, a lot of them seem to be just very, I would say mechanical would be the best way to describe it. Because I always ask the question, like, do you like, you get on set, would you like obviously put your things down and whatnot, meet everyone and like have a sit down with your up and coming partner and say, okay, these are the things I'm kind of into, what kind of things you into? Yeah. And other women have been saying, no, I don't need to talk to nobody. I'd come in, get my makeup done. We get on set, gone.
Well, since I come into this from such a BDSM and kink background, that for me, it's like when I do get on set with somebody, even if, I understand some people that, we don't have to have like a conversation of, epic proportions, but I do want to know, what are your hard limits? Because I wouldn't want to cross any line with you that would make you uncomfortable or just some shit you don't like. You know what I'm saying? So usually I have that conversation, even if it's brief. Let them know, I work with like universal safety words, red, yellow, green, and all that, just in case they need to say something. Because, the director might not give a fuck, but I do, so let me know how you feeling. I also know that I have the ability with my anatomy to hurt somebody. So I want to make sure that it's pleasurable instead of painful.
That's the most important thing, man.
And so, I think when we shoot stuff, especially when it's stuff that either I'm directing or producing or working directly with the director or producer, I like to find out ahead of time, like, what is the shit that you enjoy even off camera that you're willing to do on camera, because that's just going to make it all the better. I don't like shooting scenes where there's no connection and no passion, because I want to put something out that, people can feel, like that it motivates them to either, rub one out, stroke one out in a moment, or to go try it with their partner later on, or watch it with their partner,
Well, it's clear that you want to produce quality content, rather than just, producing rubbish, which unfortunately there's a plethora of, all types of material out there at the moment.
True.
I mean, you clearly float in between multiple genres. Is there anything that, where are your limits, King Noire? Like, where would you stop in regards to producing content or a genre of content?
Well, the production is different. Because like for me as a producer and as a director, I want to shoot anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll direct anybody, like, as long as the people are consensually there to have a good time and make something dope, like, I'm with it. For me, in front of the camera as a performer, I don't sub for nobody and I don't get penetrated. Those are like my big two. And then obviously the third is like, don't call me out my name because we'll have a problem.
Problems, man. Okay. So I think I remember you mentioning, obviously with the companies, you do a lot of traveling and stuff.
Yes.
You've been abroad, so have you come over to the UK as of yet?
Shit, I've been to the UK probably like 15 times, man. But I got over to the UK a lot more for my music than I have for adult stuff, because so like for my fans who know me, they know who I am. But like for those who don't, besides King Noire and putting out music as King Noire, I used to put out music under my name, which is Husan Salaam. And so like I traveled over there. I rocked. What's the festival I rocked over there?
That's
the big. I'm not Big Chill. I did the Big Chill before. Glastonbury would be nice though. But I did the Big Chill with Rebel doing the so I rocked over there with him. I was on tour. I was signed to Viper Records for a while, so I toured with Immortal Technique in the UK a couple of times. Yeah, and I've been out there with my man Rugged and Raw. I've been out there with the homie Snuff for EO Dub. So I've been to Birmingham a couple times.
Yeah.
I've been on Tim Westwood. I've been on the BBC. I've been on my man Montana show. You know what I'm saying? So I fucks with the UK. I love it over there. I actually got to stay out there for like a month in Tottenham for a couple times. So I fucks with London. I've been to Ireland, both north and south.
Shit. You
been
got
to
your passport.
Wales. I've been all over, man. But it's funny, like I have never shot a scene out there. Now that I think about it, I haven't shot a scene in the UK yet.
Okay, that may need to. Well,
it definitely needs to change.
Yes, 100%. Once the zombie apocalypse is over, trustfully, flights will recommence, etc., and get something popping, man.
Yeah, at some point for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy it out there, man. I've always had a good time out there.
To be fair, I think every musician, from a music standpoint, also from many other standpoints, but from a musical standpoint, when musicians come over here or people who really enjoy hip hop and rap, and they come here, they really get to see, like the golden era, basically, because there's still a massive core of people who really appreciate the art of hip hop and those 5 universal principles.
For sure. I think you know what it is about the UK. It's like, what is it? Heathrow is the most traveled airport in the world, right? Or at least has the most diversity of its flights. And then you think about London itself as a city is so diverse. So y'all get music from every corner of the planet. So the people who fuck with the music, like when somebody becomes a hip hop head in the UK, they're a hip hop head because you got so many other choices, So if you really gonna dive into like you said, like the culture of hip hop, you take that on.
Yes.
Because you have to search for it, you have to dig for it, and then when the artists come out, they not from there for the most part. So you're gonna go and support because you're like, yeah, this person then took a plane or a boat over here to see me, so I gotta go show love,
Truth, man.
I think that's evident for sure.
There was a time, obviously it's changed, we're in 2020 now, there was a time, especially in the golden era, in the 90s, where you would have to literally order the product, whether it's the wax or the CD or the tape. You have to order it, and them things would take sometimes 10 days to come directly from America sometimes. And we're talking like, there was times where I had to pay like £35 for a CD and stuff.
Good God.
So cheap, man. To listen to hip hop was an expensive one, like $120 a week easily. We were spending on records and CDs.
That's serious.
I hear that, man. So you okay? So you've thrown me for like a curveball here with that revelation. I was told. So let's kind of detour onto that side then. So like, what happened with all that? Yeah, man, with the rap.
Oh man, nothing happened in no kind of negative way or anything like that. Like I still put out music, still produce music. Like music is my life, What happened was, I think 2014 I released an album called Life in Black and White on Viper Records, and we did a couple tours with that. We did this one tour with it was Technique and Talib. That was a really dope tour. And during that tour though, like I started, all the stuff that Jasmine and I were doing was kind of taking off. I'll never forget, like I was on the cover of AVN's website, and this dude Talib Kweli, like was like, dude, you want AVN cover? Yeah. It's like really, really took off with the business. It's like with King. And like and just
And King,
people like you could check like it's on like, you know, to interview me at King Noire, like, let's throw a beat on for you. And I spit. Like, I'm not no pop sensation, you feel me? So, like, I go hard. So they was like, oh, shit, I didn't know. It was like, I didn't know you rap like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm middle finger up at the police and the government, but, you know, I slang dick. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I could rap, though. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's always funny to me, but it's just like, I think it's important that, you know, people don't always look at people in adult entertainment or porn or sex work as complete human beings. And, you know, besides just being on the camera and doing what I do, like I got a whole life, you know what I'm saying? And my life encompasses a lot of things, you know, like even besides just the rap side of things, you know, like I've worked in activism and community organizing for just as long, you know? So there's things that I've helped to build and work that I still enjoy doing. And I think it's been important that people can see like, oh, okay, he does porn, but that doesn't mean that he can't still work at the shelter and do a food and clothing drive. Or he can't still work towards, like, you know, we used one of my albums called Music Is My Weapon, and we took no money from the album. You know what I'm saying? We took all the profits and proceeds and we built a school, a freshwater well, and a medical clinic in Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. You know, so like people then look and they're like, oh, wait, but you did that too, but then you do this. It also makes them like, oh, well, now they don't look like, oh, well, he does porn, so he's trash. You know, and it's unfortunate that people have that thought automatically. But hopefully by seeing that there's other things that we do, you know, I know people in the porn industry that got all kinds of degrees that have, you know, come from the medical field or come from Wall Street. It was just like, you know, I had a calling to do this as well, you know, and I think it's important to normalize the fact that it is okay to have sex. It is okay to be kinky. It is okay to be, you know, quote unquote freaky or whatever, that you could still hold down a regular job. You can still be a upstanding member of the community. You can still raise a family, and it doesn't make you some kind of fucking weirdo because all of us are having sex. You know, it's just unfortunate that we come from this, you know, quote unquote puritanical ideal of what sex is that then leads to them shaming people. You know, we live in a society where it's okay to watch violence on television at all times, like a woman breastfeeding is viewed as explicit.
Wow. It's nurturing it.
I mean, but I mean, think about it. The UK is that different than America in that sense, where sex is used to sell everything, violence is used to everything. But then, you know, here, you know, anything a woman can be a child is sexual. So I said, but it's still viewed as explicit by people who don't have healthy views of sex.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. A healthy view of sex, but I think also what's happened is I guess the media, whether that's print or, you know, digital or visual media, we tend to find or hear stories of. It's mainly, you could correct me, I don't really hear of men having this issue, or having this story, but we hear of so many women who, you know, potentially, or who say they were abused as children, and then, you know, they became like dancers and then prostitutes possibly, and then went into pornography, and they've had a terrible time and a terrible life kind of thing. Those are the type of things that they push out and promote to say, well, look, if you come from a broken home, that's an opportunity. Here's a potential path for you. But as you've highlighted, there are many people who don't come from a broken home, who do have view on sex and do
no, there are, but also like, let's think about it for a minute. You know, can you hear me still?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. It's going in now. Just think about what the sexual abuse statistics are for the world, right? They're saying that more than 1 in 3 women and nearly 1 in every 4 men have experienced sexual violence involving physical contact at some point in their lives, right? So you're talking about 25% of men and like 33.3% of women. And this is just people who admit to it, right?
Yes.
That isn't just for porn. That's for the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So people don't go up to, I don't know, doctors and be like, well, how come you got into being a doctor after being sexually abused? It's because it doesn't fit the same narrative. Yes. It's easy to say like, oh, well, this person, the only reason that they could show themselves naked is because of, you know, this sexual abuse. But then meanwhile, at the same time, if you go to all of these fancy museums and things like that, they have all these paintings that are showing the beauty or statues that are showing the beauty of the human form. Mm-hmm. If you look at, you know, at least our culture, if you look at ancient African art, there was art that celebrated fertility. There was art that celebrated love and passion, you know? So this is something it's not brand new to the world now. And it is also something that I think, you know, if you think about the amount of people who are abused, that's in all, like, it's not something that is just about adult entertainment, but because it's easy for people who do not have that healthy perspective on sex and the human body to point the finger at somebody who's comfortable showing it. And I'm not saying that all people need to get naked and do porn and put their pictures out there like that. To each his and her own. But it is unhealthy to attack other people who are comfortable in doing what they do. You know, Agreed. Like I wouldn't just go out there and tell somebody who's not in porn, like, your sex life is fucked up. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my place to make that kind of judgment. But I think that there's a whole lot of shit that's attached to it, right? Like, I think for one, and because, you know, they usually push out that kind of narrative in regards to women, they don't even care why men get into porn. Normally they'll just say, oh, what man wouldn't want to be in porn?
Exactly.
Right? But I'm sure but I know a lot of men who are not interested in being in porn. You know, like I have friends who are just like, you know, you do what you do, but I like being with my lady. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't knock him for that. He don't knock me for what I do, which is different, you know? But like this narrative that's pushed primarily on women in the industry comes from men's idea of ownership of women's sexuality. You know, if a woman is free with who she sleeps with, then, you know, something has to be wrong with her because I'm telling her to sleep with me and she's not doing it. Or she's sleeping with all these guys instead of just the one that she should be with. But who are you to tell her who she should be with, right? If a man has sex with as many women as possible, they're like, oh, he's sowing his oats and, you know, he's a player or whatever the fuck the terminology is for the shit. And it's still viewed as a positive thing. If a woman does it, then it's viewed as negative. And the reason for that is because men think that they should be in ownership of women's sexuality. And, you know, hopefully that's something that we dispel as well.
I think that does that is most definitely true, but there is another angle to it as well, which I would like to present. The act, the physical act, is a physical exchange. It's also, depending on the person, there is a portion of emotions which are exchanged, isn't there?
For sure.
Now, women are receivers, and their wombs are very delicate and well, their vaginas are very, amazing instruments. Now, every time a woman has sexual contact with a male, as in, there is going to be a trace of that person within them, DNA wise, for a certain period until the body will take that out. So all of that different physical contacts can be detrimental to a woman, whereas a man isn't receiving, he's penetrating. So it's not the same kind of principle. It's still an organ, most definitely, but it's a different principle.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go on energy, if you're gonna go on even, like, if we're not wearing condoms, right, just going raw, there's still gonna be of that woman on. I mean, also, a lot of guys don't like to think about this, but your dick hole is taking in stuff as well. Yes. So, to think that only a woman is receiving DNA, or is only a woman is receiving, that kind of falls along the same lines of that age-old ideal. Obviously there is the physiological aspect of penetration and things like that, but there are also other things that we do during sex. Like, if you eat her pussy, if you kiss her, you're still exchanging. You're still receiving as a man in that sense as well. So I think, like, there's just the idea that, there is only some kind of that only a woman has to face that sort of judgment is just falls along the same lines of that same ideal that's been, thousands of years of men trying to control women.
So what would be your view on polygamy and polygyny? Polygamy and, is it polyandry?
Polyamory.
That's it. Polyamory. That's it.
Oh, well, polyamory means that you believe that you have the ability to love more than one person. So polyamory only deals with love, multiple expressions of love. Polygamy is wives, and polyandry is multiple husbands. I mean, to me, it's like, to each his and her own.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, if you into it, as long as you're not out here lying to people to get them into the situation.
Facts. Facts. Ultimately, what we have to be honest, not just with ourselves, and many people just aren't, especially in 2020 with the social media era and the microwave sort of society. People are honest with themselves. Never mind being honest with with a potential, partner. So it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. I would be very worried being on the dating scene in 2020, because there's so much illusions going on both sides, male and female.
Ask me that one more time.
Did I break up?
Yeah, it broke up a little bit.
I was saying that there's so much trickery going on these days that it would be very difficult in 2020 seeking a relationship, because people don't accept themselves and are honest with themselves, never mind being honest to a partner.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think people have been lying and tricking and cheating and all of that shit since the dawn of creation. I think that's just part of humanity, unfortunately. There's just new ways that people do it now. I mean, like, back in the day, a motherfucker would have a whole other family. but because there's no Instagram or whatever, like, there's no pictures that's going to get their ass caught out there, right? Nowadays, you have this whole other device where people can be, they could post a picture as their avatar and they trying to live their whole life as somebody else. I like, it's just some different shit for a new age, I think there are positives and negatives of being in the age of technology that we're in. I think a positive is that, you can make content for, like, to keep it on porn, like, you can make content from your own house and never have to go work for another company ever, and build up a huge following doing so, right? In regards to relationships, you could start dating somebody from the other side of the world and get to know somebody for who they really are, probably, on their Skype and all these other ways of communicating. But then, the negative is someone could completely fake your ass out because you're not there to see them in person, right? So, it's definitely just like, you got to just navigate it for the time we in,
Be studious, use critical thinking, as I always say, critical thinking, and do your due diligence in all aspects of life, and trustfully you'll yield better results. So, King, so with the current global crisis, how is that affecting the industry? Is it totally dead now, or like,
Well, I mean, it's definitely shut down to protect people's health. Some people are shooting content. They happen to get quarantined with somebody they can work with, or people are shooting solos. People are doing live videos and Skypes and things like that for fans. A lot of companies, I'm sure, have a whole lot of shit in the stash that they're going to be putting out. I know for us, we got a lot of videos I've been editing nonstop. This time to slow down has given me a lot of time to catch up on scenes that I need to edit. Mm-hmm. So, that aspect, porn ain't going nowhere. It's still here. But, at the same time, it's good that the companies and FSC and some of the other bodies that look over everyone is like, take a hold. We gotta make sure, like, if this is going to have to be something that gets added to, our talent testing, or just kind of see where everything goes. And at the same time, also give people a chance to take care of their families, because, this shit is real and people are dying. So, people need to be able to take care of themselves and their families.
So as you've highlighted, do you think moving forward that this COVID-19 strain will be added to your sort of monthly or bi-monthly tests that entertainers do?
I'm not sure. It kind of just I'm not in control of that, but I do know, from how these things usually work out, the body will start to deal with COVID-19 like 5 years from now. It'll hit us like the flu, so at least that's what it usually seems like when it comes to coronaviruses. But in regards to now, like, shit, people might have to be doing that. Like, when shooting gets back into full production, people will probably have to have a COVID-19 test along with AIDS and the list of all the other things we get tested for.
So now we've kind of moved on to the the viral element of the conversation.
Sure.
How has it been for yourself in the industry? Have you been one of the fortunate ones and haven't caught much sexually transmitted diseases, or what's your experience been like?
Oh, my experience has been good, man. I'm clean. I'm healthy. I get tested like every 2 weeks, pretty much. There are scenes when I will use protection, depending. I take care of my body. I be on my vitamins. I eat right, work out. You know, the good thing is because I only work with other people who are within the past database and are doing talent testing. I don't just shoot with people who, you know, bring any random test or anything like that. So it keeps me healthy.
Definite. So also, without giving away any tricks of the trades, quote unquote, how does the male talent, because obviously content that, you know, the consumer sees is only half the battle in essence. So how do male talent maintain their manhood in essence over this long period? Do some people use artificial / natural enhancements, i.e. supplements, or I mean, I've heard stories, but you know, I'm talking to a legend now, so you know, I want to hear it in your mouth, mate.
I mean, everybody is different. You know, I can't speak for what other people do. I mean, for me, the main thing is like I don't smoke cigarettes. I rarely drink alcohol. I try to stay as healthy as possible. I mean, my body is my instrument. So I got to keep that blood flowing. There's definitely like, you know, we take a lot of breaks on shoots because like you got to shoot the pictures first and then you got to shoot video and things like that. So it's a lot of start, stop. So, you know, in those kind of instances, it's very much keeping your mind right. You know, I learned the hard way. Like if I'm trying to shoot a scene and then I'm also on my phone dealing with bullshit or, you know, having family conversations or this, that, and the other, you know, like if you just think about it in your normal sex life, if you were about to get down with your lady or your guy or whoever, and you're taking calls from your mom, you're not going to want to fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, it's tough to do it because, you know, when you're at work, it's during the day, you know what I'm saying? And also you're at work. So this might be a 3-hour shoot that you're on or a long day's worth of work. So you can't like completely dip from the world, but at the same time, you have to maintain your mind and keep your mind right. So, you know, I've kind of gotten like into a groove where, you know, I let family know like, yo, I'm at work. I'll holler at you later. You know, like I think things like that is very important to be able to maintain. And I think that it does come into play in your everyday sex life too, because, you know, life is hectic, man. Life is stressful. You're going to have a lot of things going on, but to be able to get into that moment with your partner, you know, sometimes you do have to just take all that shit and throw that shit out of your brain for a little while so that it's important. Like having a healthy sex life is paramount in having a healthy life, period. And, you know, there are different challenges as men that we're going to face out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it be stress or poor diet or, you know, just getting older, you know, there's a lot of things and factors that we're going to have. So we have to learn our bodies. You know, it's not very often that it's spoken of, but, you know, like men, we're not in tune with our bodies the way we should be. And I am comfortable making that blanket statement. I would say like 90% of men are not knowledgeable of our bodies, the different parts and all the working parts of our bodies and what we need to do to keep ourselves right, especially if we're talking about in regards to sex.
Sexual health.
Yeah, sexual health. But, you know, your overall health is going to help your sexual health, you know?
Okay. What would you say that, obviously this is theory. Would you say that it's easier for women to perform over these 3 hours, sometimes maybe even 5 hour shoots and stuff? Or
I think it really depends on the person. You know, it depends on the person, and it depends on, because there's some shoots where I'll just be like, you know, the female talent might be in a precarious, super uncomfortable position, but still is supposed to, you know, look like she's having the time of her life. You know, like that shit is tough. You know, and then just like physiologically, a woman can lube, right? Physiologically, a man can't fake an erection. So,
very true.
you know, there's different aspects that are tough for all types of performers. You know, it's just like, I tell people, like, we really are, the people in this industry are sexual athletes, you know, and a lot of people, it's so funny because porn is like that thing that when you tell people that you work in porn, people have that reaction like, anybody could do that, but I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's like, okay, which one is it? You know, but it's like, it's one of those things where, like, there are people I've worked with, might be their first shoot or they're new to the industry or whatever, and then they realize, like, yo, this shit is actual work. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's actual work. And then if you want to excel, you know, you have to know what your strengths are and you have to build them up, and then you have to know what your weaknesses are and you got to build those up too.
Wise words there, man. Wise words. What words of encouragement or advice would you give to any of the listeners who are listening? Mainly males, I would say, who have, you know, may have watched you and thought, yeah, man, I really wouldn't mind doing this. This sounds, you know, this looks like it's, you know, something I could do. And, you know, what would be your keys of success? Or not even so much keys to success. The keys to the access to entry. How would they get into it?
Well, first and foremost, you gotta start by building your own. It's the same as the music industry right now. There ain't no A&Rs that are gonna reach out to you to hear your music like there was back in the day. You gotta build your own buzz. So it's the same kind of thing in porn, you know. Start where you are, and, you know, first and foremost, make sure that you're safe. Make sure that you work with talent that's talent tested, wear protection. Everybody out there, you need to learn the actual legalities of the industry. You know, where you are, it might be illegal. So you doing that shit, you put it out, you get arrested. You know, don't be coming to me then. You know what I'm saying? Find out if the shit is okay where you at. You know what I'm saying? But you know, find out the legalities of it. You know, if you're going to be putting out content and things like that, you know, you don't want to get you don't want a lawsuit. You don't want to get locked up over the shit, you know. Then also, especially for my men out there, respect the ladies that you work with. It's very hard to build up a good name, but it's very easy to ruin your reputation. So be respectful, be humble, and be good to people, and you'll go far.
Excellent. As we wind down, sibling, is there anything that we've had a pretty broad conversation? Is there anything that we've kind of haven't touched on, or is there anything that you want to?
You know, just definitely, man. You know, I just got to do a little bit of shameless promotion. Definitely go out there on wherever you listen to music, all platforms, and get the Royal Fetish Experience, King Noire. You know, it's on iTunes, Spotify, the one that Jay-Z owns, all them shits. Go out there, fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Tidal, there you go. Go fuck with it. It's on all platforms. And then also, I just had my own dildo and my own molds. You know, it's out there through Lust Arts. So you could go to lustarts.com and buy my dildo and fuck yourself with me and all that good stuff for the listeners that's out there that's into that. And, you know, Check out KingNoireXXX.com, RoyalFetishXXX.com. And I appreciate all the support. And, you know, love yourselves and be good to others, man, especially at this crazy ass time.
Definitely, man. Most definitely in these troubling times. And definitely, man, cherish exactly who you have close to you and reach out to the ones who you may not have had contact with in some time.
Big
also,
facts.
King, how can people get in contact with you? What's your socials? Give us all your socials and all that.
Oh, word. Twitter is at King Noire, KingNoire. OnlyFans at King Noire as well. And then on Instagram is The Real King Noire because they flagged my last account. So come holla at me.
Well, you do some crazy lives, King.
Nah, man. Like they be after sex workers on there, man. I was showing too much man meat for them, I guess. I don't know.
All good, man. It's all good. King, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for blessing the platform. I would imagine most definitely once this is all calmed down again, we'll have you back on the broadcast and, you know, we'll do a part 2 of this year.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna be out there in the UK, so get this shooting.
Yeah, man.
Then I could say I finally done some stuff up in the UK. You got to tell me who I need to connect with out there.
Yeah, man. We'll make that possible, man. We'll talk off air on that, yeah, man, and we'll make that happen, man. 100%, sibling.
All right, that's what it is, man. Thanks for having me on.
Most definitely, man. Stay safe and stay diligent.
Yeah, man. You already.
Definitely. Peace.
Peace.